For more on this, we are joined by Jordan Georgeson. Jordan is a sports reporter, Gold Country Media, also a huge A's fan, which is really why we're excited to talk to you today. I need you to break this down for us, okay? What this gentleman just said, those are some strong language that it's disgusting for a team, to relocate. As an A's fan, what's your take on this move?
It's a really difficult thing to kind of process for me because on one hand, it's very much a double-edged sword. On one hand, I am excited that there is professional baseball in Sacramento, 30 minutes away from me. I can take my daughter to a game and be home before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it does leave a bad taste in my mouth because I am a big A's fan. I feel like the team does belong in Oakland. I don't like the way this whole process has gone. I feel like Oakland's getting done dirty a little bit. But again, a team being in Sacramento is a little bit of a dream come true. And I feel like it's one of those where two things can be true at once, where you can be upset about what's happening in Oakland, but also excited about what this could mean for Sacramento, really.
Yeah, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but my assumption is that we already knew Oakland A's were moving to Las Vegas. That was already a done deal. So at least to have this interim of a couple of years where your home team, the A's, are closer than Vegas, that feels like it would be a positive for a lot of A's fans.
It does feel like a positive, and I think there are some A's fans that look at it that way. I get why a lot of A's fans out here also feel like maybe we're complicit in helping them move to Vegas, but I kind of look at it in a different scope, whereas, the A's have been looking at this process since 2005. San Jose didn't work out, Fremont didn't work out, Laney College didn't work out. They were close to Howard Terminal, and the A's pulled out of that deal pretty abruptly, and, a lot of people seem to think it was just days away from them breaking ground and starting that stadium, but the reality is they did pull out of that, and in my opinion, I don't think they ever really wanted to be in Oakland. I think the deal maybe got a little too close to being done, and they got cold feet. But with Vegas still up in the air, Sacramento coming in, this is a big opportunity. And, a lot of people say, well, if you're a Kings fan, how can you be okay with a team ripping a team away from its city when you almost lost your team? And I understand that argument, but I also think it's a different situation in a sense because the Kings were up for sale. Sacramento had a chance. Vivek came in, bought the team. The A's are not currently up for sale, but Vivek coming in and doing this and opening this up with this partnership, he's not doing this for no reason. I mean, this could open the door to maybe if Vegas fizzles out, the A's stay here permanently. Let's say the A's move to Vegas. MLB wants to expand. They want a team on the West Coast. Right now, there's really only three viable options if the A's go to Vegas, and that's Portland, Salt Lake City, and Sacramento. And we're in a situation right now that Portland and Salt Lake City don't have, where we have 3 years to now prove to MLB that we can have a professional team. It's very similar to what happened with Oklahoma City back in 2006 or 7 during Hurricane Katrina when they housed the Hornets temporarily. They had a chance to prove that they're an NBA viable town, and all of a sudden, Oklahoma City is hosting the Thunder. I know they got a relocation team, but it kind of reminds me of that situation. And I feel like this deal wasn't made without there being some type of, I don't want to say guarantee, but some type of talks of, hey, this can open the door to a team being in Sacramento permanently.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. On the one hand, you think that's not possible, that they would stay here longer, because one of the big concerns, Sutter Health Park, beautiful park, perfect for the River Cats, but it's tiny. What is it, a fifth of the size of the Coliseum? So what is the practical implication of that? Would we have to build out the stadium? I mean, I don't know. What does that look like?
That is a great question. That's one of the questions I have with this. Let's say Sacramento gets a permanent team out of this. And, as a baseball fan to me, that would be great from a fan aspect. What happens to the River Cats? What happens to Sutter Health Park? I personally think they would either have to build a brand new stadium completely, or we would have to find a way to expand Sutter Health Park. But then, expansions take time. So now where's a team going to play during that? Do they play back at the Coliseum while they're building Sutter Health Park? There's a lot of questions for that, but it's really a tough situation because I feel like we have still a lot of questions left unanswered. But I think the important thing is, as a fan, it isn't fun to see a team get ripped away from a city I feel like they belong in. But as an A's fan living in Sacramento and, a baseball fan first and foremost, I do enjoy the fact that there's going to be MLB baseball in Sacramento and an opportunity for maybe there to be a permanent mainstay of MLB baseball in Sacramento.
So I have to ask you about the River Cats, of course, they play. So is this going to affect, are people going to say, well, if I'm going to go to Sutter Health Park, I might as well be watching an MLB team as opposed to a AAA team. Is this going to affect the fan base for the River Cats, or at least the attendance to games, I guess?
I don't think so, because I think, one, you're paying for two completely different products. When you're going to a River Cats game, you know it's minor league baseball, and we see all across baseball, the Twins have their minor league team in St. Paul. That's, not far from Minneapolis. I believe it's the Rangers have their minor league team in Round Rock. Astros have theirs in Sugar Land. So it's not like minor league teams are always far. The AAA teams aren't far from the main club. And I think it's a cheaper option. There's some people that might prefer that. I just think it's one of those where now it gives you the opportunity to see better players. Whenever the River Cats would get a star coming in, the times Matt Cain would play here or Hunter Pence or something, they would sell those games out. And now this is an opportunity for, you're getting Shohei Ohtani here for 3 nights every year, and you're getting Juan Soto, and you're getting these superstars of the game, Mike Trout, playing in your backyard. I think that it's more so it's not going to hurt the River Cats as much as it's just going to make baseball that much more popular here. And Sacramento is already a big baseball town.
That's exciting. I think that's a great point. Yeah, just having the MLB team here. And another question about the fans with the A's, right? So obviously this isn't happening until next year, but let's talk about that first game. Is it going to be a disappointment for A's fans that they simply have fewer tickets to sell to these games, right? I mean, there's going to be a fraction of the people that are even allowed to attend these games over the course of a normal season that these A's fans are used to. So are A's fans already talking about, they're worried about getting their tickets to these games that they normally would be able to go to? I
don't think that's the case, because a lot of A's fans are choosing to not go because of the product that Fisher is putting out there as the owner. They don't like the way the team's going. A lot of them are saying, I don't want to support an owner that's not going to invest that money back into the team. And I'll admit, myself included, I've gone to a lot less games since this whole kind of tearing down process has happened, because I don't like spending my money on someone who I know isn't going to put it back into the product that I'm going to watch. That being said, I think as a whole, just the prospect of having some of these big names come through here and just having professional baseball in Sacramento, I think it's still going to be a hot ticket. I just don't know how many of those people will necessarily be A's fans versus people that are just baseball fans in general, looking to either prove that Sacramento is worthy of a team or coming to watch some of the biggest stars in the world come play here.
Jordan, and the impression I get, you will be attending the A's games here in West Sacramento, right?
I want to say that, I'm going to stay away, but it's really hard to not take a look at some of these names that are coming in here. And I mean, my wife works right across the street from the building. I mean, how can I not?
Right, how could you not?
I mean, I'm sure I'm going to end up at some games, but it's going to be interesting to see really the draw that it gets here and the type of fans that it brings out. If it's going to be A's fans, and I know a lot of what we're seeing today on social media and in person are a lot of knee-jerk reactions, and the emotions are still raw. Once the dust settles, I'm interested to see how many A's fans in this area are maybe on board with this move.
It'll be interesting to see. All right, Jordan Georgeson, Gold Country Media, thank you so much.